Hey guys, we are going to give you just a quick video on the checkpoints that will be used at our 3 and 6 week time period. Hey guys, we are going to give you a short video on what a checkpoint is, where to find them, and how to utilize these checkpoints in your classes. So this first video is basically going to be what is a checkpoint and where do you find these checkpoints so that your kids can be prepared for them. So right now we're looking at the SMORE created for 3 and 6 week checkpoints. The why, read through that, and we're going to go to the what. On-level courses will use the performance assessments that are in TRS or the TEKS resource system. Advanced courses will use embedded assessments located in the Springboard books. So what I want to do now is click the on-level courses, and that link in the SMORE takes you directly to TRS. So once you've logged into TRS, you're going to pick your grade level. I'm going to pick grade 6 and your subject area, which is mathematics. Then click search. We're going to scroll down, and where you're going to find the performance assessments is right here in the instructional focus document. So let's click on the instructional focus document, and here are all of your units that you find on the YAG. So I'm just going to, as an example, start with Unit 1. I'm going to click that and open it. And here is a lot of information about Unit 1 and the skills or TEKS that Unit 1 is going to cover. If you continue to scroll down, on the far right-hand side of the screen, you see performance assessments. So if you look down, Unit 1 only has one performance assessment. But if you notice, it's rather lengthy. And for this performance assessment, there are 2 different questions, each having 2 parts. So we have 1A and 1B, 2A and 2B. All of this is part of the performance assessment. Therefore, all of it would be part of the 3 or 6 week checkpoint. So we talked about unpacking. The best way to unpack a performance assessment is to take a copy of the question, which I'm going to highlight, and cut and paste onto a Word document. And we don't need that right now, but we need a blank document. And I'm going to paste this here as soon as I get my paste. So here is the question. What I would do is either get a paper or digital copy of this question with all of its parts. I'm going to space it out a little bit better. So if I were to just copy this and give the kids a paper copy, they would have some space to do the work. So this is a little bit better. There's some space for the kids to show some work, to maybe write out some explanations. Oops. Let's get that way. And so when unpacking, I would read through the questions and then have a discussion with my class about what skills they would need to have in order to answer this question fully. Typically, with a paper copy, I would have the students turn it onto the back, and we would make a list of skills, and then they would decide whether they thought they had that skill or not. So if we were looking at this first question, Ms. Vasquez's class earned 45% of their class goal of $300, and Ms. May's class has earned $150 of their 30%. Okay, so that's some percents, whole numbers. For each class, represent the percent of money earned compared to the class goal with a concrete or pictorial model, a fraction, and a decimal. So what skills would kids need to know or be able to do in order to answer this question fully? Well, they would need to know what a concrete or pictorial model was. They would need to understand the concept of a fraction and the concept of a decimal. And we're going to throw percent in there as well because the original question had a percent in it. So percents, fractions, decimals, plus concrete and pictorial models that represent percents, fractions, and decimals. So the next question asks about benchmark fractions and percents. Well, they would need to know what benchmark fractions and percents are and maybe how to use them to estimate percents and fractions. So if you were given maybe the fraction 1/8, what would be the closest benchmark fraction to that? So we look down at question 2. Looks very similar. Mr. Wu and Mr. Green's classes each have a class goal of $600. Mr. Wu's class earned 1/5, while Mr. Green's class earned 23%. And again, we're talking about fractions, decimals, and percents, and how to show those things together, equivalent fractions, decimals, and percents. And then 2, again, benchmark fractions and percents. So they really need to know what benchmark fractions and percents are. So these are the questions that they're going to need to be able to answer in order to get through their checkpoint. So looking back again, we've unpacked it. We've talked with the kids. They know the questions. They know the skills. Maybe they've written the skills down somewhere on a Google document or on the back of their paper. The next thing I would make sure they have is the grading rubric. So every PA comes with this grading rubric. And again, I would take a copy of this and paste it onto a Word document like I've done here. And I would give the students a digital or paper copy of the rubric so they understand the depth to which these questions must be answered. So they're graded on a 4, 3, 2, and a 1 with a 0. And the kids can see what earns a 4, what earns a 3, 2, 1, and a 0. And then go through this and not answer the question, but maybe talk about what a thorough and accurate explanation, I'm getting those words from right here, what a thorough and accurate explanation of the relationships between concrete, pictorial, fractions, and decimals for each of the classes. What would a thorough and accurate answer look like? So I would give the kids both all of parts of the question, I would give them the rubric, and then we would have these discussions so when we go through the unit, the kids have an end in sight. The end goal is there. They know what they're going to have to be able to do when they are finally tested on this concept. So that would be what the checkpoint is and where to find the checkpoint, and then unpacking that checkpoint with your classes before they actually take their checkpoint assessment. Thank you guys. There will be a second video coming on how to grade and then analyze these checkpoints. Take care.